My parents spent 30 years treating my little brother like the family's only child. Then, at Christmas Eve dinner, my cousin let it slip that my little plumbing job had sold for 8 figures, and my brother melted down in front of the entire family. Growing up, my brother Travis was the son, and I was furniture. When he made varsity, my dad printed t-shirts. When I made honor roll, he asked why I wasn't more like Travis. Travis turned 2 cars in high school, both were replaced within a month. When my transmission died at 19, my dad told me a real man solves his own problems. So I did. I tapped ice cream for 18 a month to try and make it legally vote. I apprenticed under a plumber and Gus out of high school, and Travis found himself through Hughes of Coventry for parents' finance. At every holiday, my mother introduced Travis as our graduate and me as the one who works with his hands in a tone that made it sound like a diagnosis. Here's what nobody in my family bothered to learn. I got my master license at 26, bought Gus's business when he retired, and grew it from 2 vans to over 30. Then I started buying the buildings my shop sat in. I never mentioned any of it. I drive a 10-year-old pickup. My house looks ordinary from the curb. After decades of being invisible, invisibility became my favorite tool. 2 years ago, my grandfather passed. He was the only person who ever asked me real questions. Yet the reading invisibility's low ray letter out past. Grandfather have been loaning my pants money for 15 years. Lanny meant to be shaved between Pell Crown sons. As Larry and Korea letter. Travis is colored. Travis's condo down payment. Travis's failed supplement company. Travis's credit cards just under $300,000. My name appeared exactly 0 times. Then the letter ended with 1 line. The rest of his estate would be split equally because fair should not be a surprise. My parents wouldn't make eye contact with anyone. I photographed every page of that ledger before I left. Nothing changed though. Holidays stayed the Travis show until this Christmas Eve. 22 people around 2 pushed to gather cables at my parents' house. Halfway through dinner, my uncle asked how business was. I said, I always say busy, click could play. Then my cousin Tanner, who rushed through commercial lending, looked up from his plate and said, busy? Come on, man. Half the guys at my bank talked about your deal for a month. The table noise dropped. My dad said, what deal? Dave's face went white as he realized. He looked at me, then at my dad and mumbled, the private equity group, the acquisition. My mother put her fork down. The what? I didn't say anything. So Danny, horned, said the number. Everything I built, the truck, the contract, the buildings, that still died some of the little led $1 billion. You can feel the eye from me from the kitchen. My vault said, Millik, ever the train dude wandered and up the street. My millie's milled actually handled it. When Travis laughed, the strange high laugh and said, that's not real. Tell them that's not real. I said, it's real. I stayed on as a consultant. What happened next was the same scene I'd watched my whole life, just inverted. Travis shoved back his chair and started shouting that I was sick for hiding it, the family shares, that he was drowning in debt while I played poor. He worked himself into actual tears, and right on schedule, my mother jumped up to rub it back while my father told everyone to calm down. Then Ryan, God bless her, asked the only question that mother, Travis, what is something to be takes never the answer, because the answer was not that. My takamothy man, life. I stood, thanked my mom for dinner, wished everyone a Merry Christmas, and drove home in my old truck with the radio on. The request started before New Year's. Travis needed a bridge loan. My dad had an investment opportunity. My mom called crying that a family with secrets isn't a family rich, coming from her. In February, they made it formal, an email from all 3 of them, asking me to pay off Travis's debts to finally bring that family together. I replied with no argument and no lecture. Debts attachments, debt-free page of grandpa's ledger, with each of the 15 years of payments to Travis highlighted in yellow, in a single sentence at the bottom. This family sharing has already been done, and it was never with me. Nobody replied. Nobody has asked since. Last month, my old mentor Gus turned 80. I visited him with coffee and told him the whole story. He laughed until his eyes watered, then said, son, they never asked what you were building because their eyes thought you were worth asking about. He's right. Then it turns out they never asked what as bad as they being adored.